Hey everybody, welcome to etrailer.com. I'm Bobby, and today we're taking a look at the Inno Velo Gripper bike rack clamp-on style here in the back of our 2020 Ford F-150. Really like it. As you guys can see, pretty simple little design. All we're doing, getting good clampage here on the sides of our frames. As you guys can see, we have one here on the back wheel and on the front. Right out of the gate, I would say be careful here at the front. We don't want to be clamping onto our seals here at the top. Don't want to be messing up with our shocks here at the front, especially if you have more of a specialty bike here. I'd be a little conscious of it. And keep it in mind too, since we are having frame contact, I'd definitely be wary of putting a carbon frame bike up on here. I think it can warp it and start deteriorating it. However, as you guys can see, this can be great for your mountain bikes. And what's great, we don't have to have to worry about a weight capacity, as most of that weight is actually in the truck. So I'm sure our truck is going to have a great time hauling that 50, 60 pounds, whatever we throw at it. These guys are just going to give us a nice stability action to make sure it's not tilting over in the bed of our truck, staying up and right for us here today.
Here on our test course, we'll start by going through the slalom. This is going to show us the side-to-side action. This simulates turning corners or evasively maneuvering. Once we get to the alternating speed bumps, we'll see the twisting action. This will simulate hitting a curb or pothole or driving over uneven pavement. Once we get to the full speed bumps, we'll see the up and down action. This will be just like driving in and out of a parking lot, parking garage, or driveway.
Now the installation takes no time at all for these guys, and we'll break that down in a little bit. I really do like how they work. Now the clamps can take just a little bit of time to finagle with, but I think the biggest things to worry about and to take note of is the inside here of this bed. So let me go ahead and drop this tailgate for you guys so you guys can see. And we just happened to be able to fit our bike in here today. We definitely have a shorter bed here, only about 5.5 feet here on our F-150 today. As you can see, our mountain bike fitting in there. The one things I'd watch out for though, guys, are gonna be your side channels here in your bed. So you are gonna need the appropriate spacing to actually get these guys installed. That will break down here just in a bit. But you'll notice, A, you got these wheel wells in the way, and B, you're having these kind of insets here on those sides that we definitely don't want to have to be interacting with, which is going to limit us to exactly where we can mount this. So if you're looking at home, you're like, man, is this going to work for me? What I would do, take your bike, set it up in your truck, and then you want to go eye level here and find where those side rails are and where they're lining up here. Make sure you have a good hold there in the front and on the back position, and then match that with the inside of your side rails, as you might have just a little bit of issue of making those guys work. And also too, to keep in mind, you know, what your kind of length of bike you're working with here today. Now, luckily for us, we can kind of force it, get that tailgate closed. If you had just a slightly longer bike though, you are gonna run into a little bit of issue. Now, it's not gonna be the end of the world, of course. As you can see, that tailgate can go ahead and hang down the end. Of course, we don't need an orange mark, we're not that far. And there actually are a couple little ways we can work around that too. If you're a little worried about your bikes just being kind of open in there, or if you have other gear in there, you might want to look at the Curt bed extender. Can be a great little option to kind of enclose the back of your vehicle. And of course though, it's not going to be the end of the world with that tailgate open, guys. I'm sure all of us have done it before. Shouldn't have too much issue at all. Well, to get the bike off though is very simple. Here at the front of these cradles that you guys can see, we just have a little ratcheting system here for our strips. So right here we have a little release lever. I'm just going to go ahead and pop that guy like so and start adding my strip through. You'll notice too, we avoided our brake cables. Don't want to be tightening those too much, causing any kind of damage. So I definitely recommend not having those in the strip like we had today. So just make sure you are treating your bike appropriately. And that brings us to our last point of contact. Now what's kind of cool about this too, we don't have to do too much to actually hold this in position, as most of our bikes' weight is just sitting right in there. If you're like us today too, you probably have a little bit of corrugate on the bed of your truck. And to take this off is very simple. Now that we are released, as you guys can see, it's pretty free. One great thing about this, we can just walk it right to the end of our bed. And as you guys can see, it makes it really easy just to walk that guy off. Of course, mounting it, just about the same, walking it up and getting it into position. Now taking a closer look here at the cradles, you guys can see have a little bit of unique design here. Now not going to be the widest little insert for your frames here, but most of our frames are going to be doing a pretty good job of fitting right in there as well. It is just a bit of a hard plastic, as you guys can hopefully see from my hand, not giving it any kind of give. Now the strap itself isn't anything too crazy, a bit softer rubber actually on the inside, which is kind of nice. And of course you have that ratcheting system there to go ahead and quickly allow it to tighten up and stay tight while it's holding on to our frame. You'll notice too, you have this extendable thread here. This bolt makes it really great to actually extend to where your bike needs to. You'll notice that we had our wheel well here today. Sorry about that, it was like loud, guys. But as you guys can see, that's gonna allow us to get past that wheel well and actually get us close and set here on that bar length. So that can be great too if your bike just sits a little bit wonky, get a little bit further in. Just kind of depends on our bike, which is great to see. Gives us just a little bit of versatility. Taking a look at the top too, here you'll see this little U-bolt here. That can be great for a tie down. Now, if we aren't in use of our bikes, we don't actually have to take our clamps off. We can leave them here and they still will have a great use for us, which I do really, really like. On the top here, you're gonna see two little Allen bolts. That makes it to where we can actually insert our thread. If we wanted to go ahead and take these guys off, we can take that included Allen wrench and just spin them off and get them out of the way. Now, where all the work is coming into play for this installation, guys, is right here at the bottom. You're gonna see this little eye bolt right here, and it makes it very, very easy to get this guy on and off. To loosen, all we have to do is simply untighten, and to tighten, we just simply have to do like that. What can be great too is to put it in its horizontal position and simply move it like so to tighten and untighten down. Now, it doesn't take too much time at all. Now, you guys can kind of see where my thumb disappears. That's actually where all that embedded clamp is coming from. So we'll pull one off, and just to give you guys a closer look here in just a second. Of course, too, it is going to have this plate to put in between your clamp and your side rail. That way we're not pinching into that plastic, causing any kind of damage. We're distributing that force evenly so we don't have any issues here today. So we've gone ahead and taken the clamp off just to give you guys a closer look. So as you can see, this is our little structure here. And as we tighten this guy up, as you can see, it's just simply going to slide up into place. Now, all we have to do is place that within our side rail, and as it covers up, it'll clamp itself nicely on the inside. Of course, here's that little plate. As you guys can see, nothing too crazy, just does a great job of spreading out that force so we don't do any damage to our side rails. To take off our bolt, we just simply unloosen our Allen keys here, or our bolts, I should say, with our Allen wrench. And that's going to go ahead and take off this entire top plate here, guys. And as you guys can see, we can loosen that up and pull our bolt through. Now, we can pull this off all the way. The one thing I would say with that, though, that you can also end up taking off this U-bolt as well. So I'll go ahead and show you guys that. So just be careful as we take it off all the way. That's why I kind of like leaving it halfway. As you can see that this is able to be removed. And what can be great with that, though, guys, definitely want to be cleaning this guy. I can see dirt and buildup getting in here pretty easily, but as long as we are treating it with routine maintenance, it should last us a while. Well, an awesome little thing with this too, guys, as you guys saw, very easy to take these guys out, especially when you're not in use. One cool little thing too, you can go ahead and leave this clamp on here. Gives you about a 66-pound worth of tie down here. So I think that'll be great if we're holding down any of our cargo, if we just want to actually keep our clamp in use when we aren't carrying our bike. One thing I would like to point out too, guys, it can be really easy to use a cable lock system with these guys. If you want to take a look here on the inside, this little eye bolt here can become excellent to run a cable through both of your frame of your bike and in here as well. That way, nobody can actually get this guy moved. You'll reduce the limit of that eye bolt's able to move, and therefore our clamp will stay to their side rails when we leave it unattended. Well, guys, I think that about does it for our look at the Inno Velo Gripper side mount clamp here on our 2020 Ford F-150. I'm Bobby. Thank you for watching.